Hey beautiful, welcome back to the channel. It's always great to have you here, whether you're sipping your morning coffee, in bed, out on a walk with your headphones in, or just stealing a few quiet minutes for yourself. I want you to feel like you're exactly where you're meant to be, because today's topic is something you've probably thought about more than once. Have you ever been near a guy and felt that spark, that tug, that unspoken something in the air that makes you wonder, is he really into me? Like actually attracted? You start overanalyzing everything. You replay how he looked at you. In your head, you try to make sense of the way he laughed at your joke, or how his hand briefly touched yours, and suddenly you're spiraling into a maze of what-ifs. But here's the thing. Sexual attraction isn't some hidden secret. It shows itself clearly, not always in words, but in energy, in body language, tiny expressions, and subtle behavior that practically shout his desire, even if he's too nervous or uncertain to say it directly. And that's exactly what we're unpacking today, because once you learn to recognize these signals, not just guess or hope, but really see them, you take your power back. You stop chasing, you stop second-guessing yourself, and you begin choosing the kind of connection that truly speaks to your heart instead of waiting for someone else to pick you. We're about to explore 5 unmistakable signs that a man is sexually attracted to you. The kind of clues most women miss because they're too caught up trying to figure it out. But when you know what you're looking for, everything becomes clear. This isn't just about chemistry. It's about knowing desire, understanding the messages behind the moments, and stepping into your most irresistible confident self. So get ready, because after you hear these 5 signs, you won't have to wonder again. Let's dive in. When it comes to attraction, especially the deep, electric kind, the truth often shows up first in the eyes. A guy might try to stay cool. He might hold back his words, act like nothing's going on, pretend he's not feeling anything, but his eyes will always betray him. When a guy's sexually into you, he simply can't look at you the same way. And I'm not talking about polite eye contact or a quick scan across the room where your gazes happen to meet. I mean that look that lingers, that long moment where you feel his eyes holding onto you, not just seeing you, but almost touching you through his gaze. He might catch your eye for a moment. Maybe you're chatting and his gaze slips down to your lips while you're speaking. Maybe you're laughing and you spot him just watching you totally still, like he's memorizing every little expression on your face. Or maybe he gives you that glance that lasts just a beat too long, then quickly looks away like he was caught off guard. That right there is one of the clearest signs. He's not just interested in what you're saying, he's drawn to you in a physical and very real way. And the amazing thing about eye contact is it's one of the most ancient ways we connect. It skips past words and heads straight to feeling, to longing, to chemistry. When a man is attracted to a woman like this, his gaze naturally lingers on the places that captivate him. Sometimes on purpose, sometimes he's not even aware of it. You might look at your lips, your neck, the shape of your shoulders, and it won't always be bold or obvious. Sometimes it's the opposite. It's gentle, it's restrained. It's like he doesn't want to get caught staring, but still can't help himself. And you'll feel it because we're all intuitive. You'll sense that heat, that tension, that stillness between you that suddenly feels electric and full of possibility. The truth is most women do pick up on this, but then they start doubting themselves. They think, oh, he's just being friendly, or maybe I'm imagining it. But you're not. That attraction is real, and you'll often see it in his eyes before you see it anywhere else. There's also something meaningful in what happens when you actually catch him staring a man who's sexually attracted to you. Might hold your gaze just a second longer than usual, and in that tiny pause, so much is communicated. You might see curiosity, admiration, desire, and maybe even a bit of nervousness. And when he gets caught, he might smile or blink a bit faster or fidget like he's been caught lost in a moment with you. That second speaks louder than any words, because attraction doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's soft, and you'll find it in that flicker of vulnerability when he realizes you've noticed the effect you have on him. When a man finds you sexually attractive, his eyes linger not because he's reducing you to your appearance, but because he's drawn in something about your energy, your presence, your essence, grabs him and holds his focus. He wants to be around it, take it in, understand it and feel it. And no matter how composed he tries to act, his eyes will whisper everything his lips won't say. Yet, so the next time you notice that intense, lingering look, don't shrug it off. Don't tell yourself it's nothing. Trust that feeling. because that gaze is a clear sign of the chemistry he's trying to keep under wraps. And he's likely hoping you feel it too. When a man is into you sexually, something really interesting happens. He begins moving into your space. It's like his body naturally wants to close the gap, even if his brain is telling him to stay cool. This isn't just about friendliness or being outgoing. It's a quiet, instinctual pull that makes him want to be nearby, often for no clear reason. If you pay close attention, you'll see it in how he places himself, how he shifts, where he stands, how he arranges his body language. It's subtle but powerful. Imagine you're on a couch with a few people. He could sit anywhere, but somehow he ends up right next to you, not just nearby, but close enough that your knees almost touch, or his shoulder leans slightly your way. These movements aren't random. They're driven by instinct. His desire is making him gravitate to your space. The closer he is, the more he can feel that energy, that magnetic tension between you both. And that's what's really happening here. It's about the unspoken current that sparks between two people when sexual chemistry is strong. You feel it, and so does he, and being near you lets him experience that charge more fully. So he leans in when you talk. He stands shoulder to shoulder with you in line or while waiting, even in a group of people. He ends up beside you again and again. He may not even be aware of how often he does this, but his desire is working like a magnet, drawing him toward you. Notice what happens when you move slightly. Maybe you lean in and he does too. Maybe you adjust your chair and he scoots a little closer without hesitation. These are his quiet ways of saying, I want to be near you. I want to feel this longer. Even if he's trying to act normal, his body is tuned into every small shift in your distance and he doesn't want to lose that connection. Touch becomes part of this too, but not in a forceful way. It starts subtly. Maybe he touches the small of your back when letting you pass. Maybe his hand brushes yours and he doesn't pull away fast. Or maybe he finds little excuses to touch your arm, fix your jewelry, show you something on his phone, just to graze your hand. These gentle touches are tiny invitations. They're like playful hints, led by curiosity and interest. And if you respond with warmth, he'll probably test those waters again and again. It's important to know that this kind of closeness doesn't always scream passion. It often feels incredibly sweet and soft. A man who's sexually drawn to you, but also respects you, will do his best to keep his feelings in check. But his desire to be near you, that's the one thing he struggles to hold back. He might never say it, but his body is speaking loud and clear if he's always finding ways to be in your space. Not in a pushy way, but in a steady, consistent way. That's not something to ignore. His physical closeness is saying something real. He wants you near because he wants you completely. One of the most surprisingly attractive signals that a man is into you isn't what he says, but how he says it. His tone, the rhythm, the pace of his words. They start to shift when he's around you. And the moment you hear it, something inside you responds, maybe not consciously at first, but your body knows it. That lower, smoother, deeper voice. It doesn't just sound different, it feels different. It hits your nervous system like a soft, slow wave. When a man is truly drawn to a woman, especially in a sexual way, his voice can drop in tone, even if he doesn't realize it. It's not an act to be charming or romantic, it's instinct. Deep tones have always been linked with confident strength, calm, and a natural kind of sensual energy. And what makes it really stand out is the contrast, the shift from his normal speaking voice to one that sounds more personal, more intentional when he talks to you. That's the clue. You might hear him laughing and joking with others loudly, but when he turns to you, it's like the world slows down. His voice lowers, his tone softens. It suddenly feels like it's just the two of you, even if you're surrounded by people. And it's not only about volume, it's the emotional space he creates. You'll feel it when he says your name with just a touch more softness. Or when he stretches out his words slightly, when he speaks more slowly with deliberate pauses, like he's pulling you into his rhythm, inviting you to match that deeper flow. It becomes a shared moment, and that intimacy makes the conversation feel more magnetic, even without him saying anything. Seductive. What's even more intriguing is how his whole delivery changes, not just the pitch of his voice, but his entire way of speaking. He's more focused, more thoughtful, less rushed. He might tease a bit more, add a playful twist to his words, or simply take his time. These changes are his way of creating a kind of emotional build-up, a slow burn through sound and presence alone. It's his way of inviting closeness without having to be too obvious. And chances are it worked. Why? Because we naturally respond to vocal tone. A deeper, slower voice brings both safety and a bit of thrill. It signals to your body that it's okay to relax and also okay to feel turned on at the same time. Now, you might ask yourself, could he just talk like that because he's shy or quiet? Maybe. But here's how you know the difference. Watch how he speaks to others in the same room. Does his vibe shift only when he talks to you? Does his tone go soft just when you're standing there? If yes, that's your clue, because it's the contrast that shows what's real. He's not always calm and smooth. He's like that around you. Also pay attention to the playful tone in his voice. When a man is into you, there's usually a teasing rhythm behind what he says. He might stretch out some words just to make you giggle or throw in a cheeky remark to see how you respond. But no matter what his words are, his delivery will feel unique, like he's having a private little chat with you, layered underneath the actual one. And you'll notice it not just with your ears, but in your body. Because when a man slows his words near you, lowers his voice, and speaks in that easy, nearly silky rhythm, what he's doing is forming an unspoken connection. It's his deeper way of saying, I notice you, and I'm pulled toward you. So the next time you're with him, pay attention not just to the words, but to the sound behind them. If you feel your heart calm, your breathing deepen, or a soft awareness rise in your body, that's no accident. His voice isn't just passing on facts, it's sending attraction. Let's talk about compliments now. Most men know how to give a compliment. They may say, you look great, or nice dress, or you have a lovely smile. Harmless, right? But when a man feels physical attraction, those compliments start to carry a different feeling. It's not only about what he says, it's the energy behind it. You feel the warmth. You feel a kind of pause. You feel how the space between you gets heavier. That's what we call a charged compliment. So what is a charged compliment? It's when he says something innocent on the surface, but it lands with a bit of tension, like it could easily turn into something more if either of you made a move. For instance, instead of saying you're pretty, he might say something like, there's something about how you look tonight, and then he leaves it hanging. Or he says that color is dangerous on you. He's not just saying you look good. He's hinting that you're affecting him. Your presence, your body, your vibe is slipping under his skin in the best way. That's what makes it different. A charged compliment isn't just about praise. It's more like an offer. It teases, it hints, it makes you think, what is he actually thinking right now? And guess what? That's what he wants. He wants you to feel that moment, that sweet uncertainty, that spark between you, and it doesn't always have to be said out loud. Sometimes it's how he looks at you while saying it. The slow scan down your body before looking in your eyes. The small grin that says he's thinking more than he's letting on. And the best part is, it's never pushy, it's not rude. It's that perfect mix of charm and desire, respect and want, and that's why it hits different. He might say, you drive me a little crazy, and laugh about it, but you'll feel what he really means. Or he'll casually say, you don't know how distracting you are, and suddenly the whole room feels warmer. These compliments are his way of checking the spark, of showing interest without crossing any lines. Because let's be honest, a guy who's into you on more than one level and respects you won't just blurt out everything he's thinking. Instead, he'll give you just enough to let your imagination do the rest, and that's where attraction really grows. You'll also see his compliments get more focused. Rather than saying general nice things, he'll mention details nobody else sees. The way your voice changes when you laugh, the curve of your neck, the way your face lights up when you're truly having fun. These aren't just comments from someone trying to get your attention. They're signs from someone who's paying very close attention. Someone who's caught up in you and probably thinking about more than just hanging out again. So if you keep thinking about something he said, if a comment keeps playing over and over in your mind after the talk ended, that's a sign. It wasn't just a nice line. It was a moment that meant something. It shows he's not just seeing you, he's feeling something real, something physical, something magnetic. The next time he compliments you and you feel that little pull in your belly or that warm flutter in your chest, don't brush it off, because when attraction is strong, compliments aren't just words. They're desire dressed in charm. And he hopes you feel it too. Let's be honest, the eyes don't lie, especially when attraction walks into the space. And one of the clearest, most powerful signs that a man is drawn to you is when his gaze keeps drifting, not to your outfit, not to your eyes, but to your lips. He might not even know he's doing it, but if you watch closely, It's clear his eyes keep dropping to your mouth like it's the most interesting thing in the room. And right then it is for him. This isn't about being creepy or staring too long. It's much more subtle. It's a series of small glances that he can't help, the kind that tell you he's thinking about something he might never say. It happens most when you're talking, especially if you're joking or sharing something open. He'll be listening, and then suddenly his eyes pause at your lips, just a bit too long. That pause, that's desire, breaking through his usual cool mask. Why does this happen? Because lips are emotional. They're soft, inviting, full of meaning. They sit right between speech and touch. When a man is pulled toward a woman, his thoughts often drift to kissing, to closeness, to the feel of your mouth. His eyes naturally go there, so even if he's trying to play it cool, part of him is already wondering how it might feel to close that gap and experience that spark. You'll really notice it when you laugh together, or when your eyes meet a bit longer than usual. That's when his look gives him away. He'll be smiling into your eyes, then glance down just for a beat. But that beat is everything. It's not just a look, it's a desire. And the best part is, he might not even realize he's doing it. That's how you know it's genuine. Sometimes he'll go a step further. He might copy your gestures, like lightly bite his own lips when you do. It's something called mirroring, and it shows he's truly in tune with you. When someone mirrors your actions without meaning to, it shows they're deeply focused and feeling connected. So if you see him touching his lips, adjusting his mouth while you talk, licking them slightly or biting gently, that's not random. That's attraction. That's tension. That's his mind racing while trying to keep it together. And you may catch him staring when you're not saying a word. Those silent moments when nothing's being said, that's when the attraction is strongest. Because in quiet, there's nothing to cover the truth. He's not thinking about what to say. He's simply feeling. He may look at you differently. His eyes may soften or grow more intense. But again, they'll go back to your lips. Again and again. And you might find your body reacting too if you suddenly become more aware of your own lips, your voice, or how you're breathing. That's your body responding to his gaze. That's your own interest. Waking up. Because attraction is a shared dance. It moves back and forth. An eye contact filled with just a bit of hunger can light a fire you both notice. So pay close attention next time you're speaking with him. If he keeps glancing down at your lips. If his gaze won't stay away. And if your body feels that little burst of warmth from it, then trust your senses. His eyes are showing you exactly what's on his mind. And all that unsaid tension, that's where chemistry begins. So here's the truth. When a man feels real attraction, he often won't spell it out clearly. Actually, the strongest clues usually aren't in his words. They're in how he acts. The way his eyes linger on your mouth. The way he leans just slightly too close when you speak. How his voice deepens when he tries to stay calm. The way he touches you lightly but with purpose. How his compliments seem different, not just kind, but full of deeper feeling. These aren't accidents, they're small signs. Clear signs of desire, even if he's holding back because attraction speaks its own language. It's subtle, electric, and hard to fake. And the best thing, once you learn how to notice it, you stop doubting yourself. You stop wondering if you imagined it. You stop overthinking every little interaction because the truth stands out. He wants you, maybe in a physical way, maybe emotionally, maybe both, but that spark you're feeling, it's real now. Here's what matters most. His desire for you isn't a measure of your value. It feels good. It's fun to notice, but it doesn't define who you are. Let it be a sign, not a goal. Something that helps you choose who deserves your energy, not something that makes you chase. So here's your invitation. The next time you feel that spark, that moment, that shift in the air, step into your power, notice it, accept it, and trust yourself to respond. However, it feels right, not from fear or doubt, but from that deep place inside that says, I know what's happening here, and I know my worth. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever felt one of these signs from a guy? Did you notice it right then or only later? Let's talk about it. Your experiences help other women too. If this video gave you something useful, maybe insight, or even just a bit more confidence, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell, because we've got much more ahead about love, attraction, connection, and confidence. You're magnetic, you're powerful, and the right man, he won't just want you, he'll feel lucky you want him too.